Welcome to the 2023 Australian Sports Sedan eSeries, round number 2 tonight, live from Oran Park Raceway in Western Sydney, southwestern Sydney. What a great place to be back at, the nostalgic place that is now houses, as you see below from the flyover here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Housing estate galore, houses for miles, that's all you can see, but the memories remain of what was a fantastic racetrack. As we head down to see Oran and the boys for the first time in a couple of months now for round number 2 of this series, we are going straight into qualifying. Welcome aboard tonight, my name's Luke, this is Race Stars TV. It's good to be back on the mic, very rare these days to be on the mic, but looking forward to joining you for all the action here over this 3 race format night. So let's get rid of the music, take you down to the track and check out these Australian Sports Sedan eSeries legends. Tony Don on the screen right now. And like I said, it's been a highlight. I was just talking to Oran earlier as we started the broadcast, and I started doing this back in 2020. The 13th broadcast I ever did was for the Australian Sports Sedans, and here we are, 695th broadcast tonight. So just a few under the bridge since the beginning, but always a soft spot in my heart when we come along and see these guys racing. So get yourselves involved in the chat tonight. Say good day. It'd be good to see a couple of old names pop up on the chat and get involved. We've got Kurt Bond and currently running around there in the porker, looking very good as well. So we'll chat to some drivers throughout the night. Ram will join us too. I think he's going to get out there and try and get a lap in. There he is, and see if he can put a lap down and then come and chat to us. 10-minute qualifying session tonight, followed by 3 short sprint races. Smallish grid, about 15 cars have joined us for tonight's race. And Ram McClurkin in the Corvette, beautiful artistic livery that Ran always has on his cars, the Evil AF Racing entry, and looking fantastic in there. The conditions out there, in fact, I think it's the morning by the looks of it, 5:47 a.m. They've locked the time, and 18 degrees ambient, 18 degrees track. Some would say perfect racing conditions. I tell you what, I've been to this place. I've raced a car back here in the day, an open top 2-seater, Austin Hilly Sprite, and it would have been much less than 18 degrees. I reckon it was never more than that. I mean, in the summer you'd cop a few hot days, but in the winter around this place you would freeze to death. It would howl a breeze on the odd day, and you would definitely have those low single-digit figure days out there in the car. Carroll goes to the top of the times with a 101, and I expect them to probably drop into the 1-minute flats as we go through this quick qualifying session. 101.272, so keep an eye on his time. Lofthouse as well was quick in practice prior to us going live on the broadcast, just watching a few of these guys, seeing if they've lost any skills with their time off. Obviously not jumping on every night of the week like they did during COVID, and I was speaking to Ran about that as well, how sim racing served its purpose over those terrible months of COVID, terrible 6 months for our Melbourne friends, or more probably, where they were locked in their houses. But this was a great way to come together and race and let off some steam. So we'll do a shout out shortly. We'll see where everyone's from and see where you're watching from, and if you've ever seen sports sedans in the real world, you'll appreciate the fire breathing amazing cars that they are. And unfortunately we don't have a field of sports sedans in iRacing that we can pick from, but we've gone the next best thing with the GTE cars, and you can see, and the Porsche as well, a couple of GT3 GTE cars. We've got the Ferrari of Alex Newton out there, I think new to the series, possibly a West Australian, racing in the Racecraft Team Pink entry. And good to see beautiful livery on the car too. The Lux Performance is gone to the paint shop and made sure this fits the bill for tonight's racing, so looking very good. Steve Tonkin in the house from SA, g'day to you and the family, mate. And welcome aboard tonight as Jordan Knockholes goes through. He should be putting his first lap time down on the board now as Lofthouse goes P2, 3/10 off the top time, and Knockholes crosses the line to go P5, only P5, 7/10 off with that time. We'll keep an eye on that. Jack Mads in the house too. Go the Don, he says. We'll get Tony up on the page, as Tony's, I think, on the dial-up tonight. We keep losing his feed, so we'll keep an eye on Tony's connection here. Hopefully we don't lose him prior to race start, but everyone knows it's much like having a reliable race car in the real world. You've got to have a reliable internet connection as well, as we see Colin Smith rise towards the dog leg and getting airborne, or lifting the front left wheel off the ground as he arches in and takes the final corner. Bit of a lock-up, goes wide, and we see Ran McClurkin joining me in the chat. Ran, how are you, man? You've put a lap down, but you've come to chat to me, which is always my favourite point of the evening.
Mate, I think I'm more of a talker than a racer in this series, so I thought I'll jump across, just do one lap, and remember that I'm usually going to be down the back here. But yeah, here for another round of the eSeries just after the real series.
Tell us about the real series. Give us a wrap, because obviously a lot of you guys are either race drivers or fans or pit crew from the real series. Queensland Raceway last weekend?
Yeah, we're at Queensland Raceway for round 2, and yeah, it was pretty good. There was like a 25-car field, obviously a bit of attrition as is the sports stand way, but yeah, it was good. There was good battles through the field. Obviously, race 2, which was the morning race of Sunday, was pretty exciting with Jordan Caruso, who's the current series champion, racing against 11-time, I shouldn't say old, he'll message me, Tony Ricciardello, who I called Danny Ricciardo at one point in my live stream when I was doing it, because their names are similar, their last names are similar, right? And they know each other. I think they're actually related to each other, I do believe.
Yeah, right.
But anyway,
Ricciardellos
really
and Ricciardios.
Yeah, I think, well, I do know that they're friends, as in, I do believe Basil Ricciardello and, I don't know, Daniel's father are actually buddies and stuff, and there is a sports sedan connection there.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, look,
obviously,
you go, mate.
Sorry. I was going to say Sky Sports don't report that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, as we see Falzon in the fence. I was going to say that I did catch a couple of the updates from round 1 and was watching along. I said I was very limited on social media at the moment, but I do catch glimpses here and there, and it's so good to see that Alpha back out there. And obviously Caruso, he's not with us tonight, is he? But man, he's super quick.
Yeah, I think, you know, let's be honest, if he was here, we'd be in a little bit of trouble. He, as we know, won the Porsche Tag Heuer series, and I can't probably give too much because I don't know how public information is what he's told people, but he's talking to some pretty impressive real life teams who run eSeries teams for next year and stuff. So he's got a bit going on, and there's a lot of people watching him. Obviously, he also set the lap record at Queensland Raceway, beating Thomas Randall's lap record. So, you know, the kid can steer in the real world and the virtual world.
Yeah, for sure. Pete Ellenbergen has just tuned in. He's watching from a million miles away, I think. So, hello, Pete. Nice to see you there. And he says hi, Eddie, as well. Good to see some.
He's off in South Africa, isn't he?
Okay, yeah.
I do believe. Visiting family, so hello, Pete.
Yeah, nice. So, yeah, too far away to jump on a sim. And it's probably the opposite time of the day there as well. So, well, he says it's midday.
Sounds soft to me.
He says midday. Well, he could have gone.
Midday? Come on now, go to an internet cafe. Come on, buddy.
Get on a Xbox controller to an internet cafe. Sign into iRacing.
Still beat me too. The joke would be on me.
Great to see Mark Pryor still here as well. Grumpy Motorsport, just tucking around there. Hasn't beat your time yet, Ran.
Oh, he will. I actually met Mark for the first time in real life at Queensland Raceway, so that was super cool.
Was he grumpy?
Nah, he's not grumpy at all. He's like really chilled. Nah, no one was really too grumpy, to be honest. It was all a pretty good meeting. There was no real aggro, so that was nice to see. Yeah, it was good to catch up with lots of people up there that I'd never met in person. I hadn't been to a Queensland round, so. But yeah, next round is at Sydney Motorsport Park, which is a joint round with New South Wales Sports Sedan, so that should be another good grid as well. And I do know that the Ingram brothers will be running, so that RX-7 and that RX-8 will finally get to see how quick they are against like Caruso and Tony as well. You know, and Tomasi, I suppose, the top 3 cars in the series currently. Even though Ashley Jarvis in Colin Smith's the Smith family Monaro is leading the championship after 2 rounds.
There you go. And Colin Smith out of the real world seat, but back in the virtual seat tonight. P9 at the moment is Matt Dexter. Just watching his time come up. He ended up not troubling the timing, went 4th, but had a purple sector in there and a green sector, so he muffed up the end of that lap, unfortunately, which keeps him in P4. But yeah, Colin, has he dabbled back at all with racing since giving it up?
Nah, he's not. And I spoke to him. He's not interested. He's so happy at the track now.
Yeah.
You should see him. He just walks around smiling because he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the Smith team, and I work a lot on the car, and obviously Ashley Jarvis and I do forget Ashley's dad's name, but they're very much part of the team, and they all seem to get along. And obviously, Ashley's been able to extract a bit more lap time. He is a lot younger driver. Not that I'm having a go at Colin, but I think Colin. That's why when I spoke to Colin, he said the same thing. It's just good to see. That's why he decided to retire. He just saw his lap time sort of dropping off a bit, and the car is a good car.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this sim series I'm producing at the moment, where you've got 9-year-olds getting on and racing and kicking ass, which is crazy. So,
damn those children, damn them.
Crazy, isn't it? That's the end of quali. So it's done. Race number 1. Ran, quickly intro us. What do we got here? A quick, short first race.
I think we do. What have we got? I'm trying to think of what we've got now. What did I do?
Heat 1.
I think it's 8 laps.
There you go. So Hayden Carroll goes pole position. We'll go through the grid. Ram, we'll speak to you after race 1. Good luck.
I better go in there and go beat them, hey?
Go for it. Thanks, mate.
See ya.
Hayden Carroll puts it on pole position with 1:01.011. Our top time tonight, almost into the 1 flats. Good job. Jordan Knockolds will start from P2. Lofthouse out of 3rd with Dexter alongside him. Then it's Tony Don and Robert Medson rounding out your 3rd row of the grid. Kurt Bond will be 7th tonight with Lockie Barlow P8. Colin Smith and Falzon rounding out your top 10. Then it's Alex Newton down in 11th place. Mark Pryor for Grumpy Motorsport out of P12 down the back of the grid as we go to a rolling start behind the iRacing pace car truck. We have Rand McClurkin 13th and Adrian Pryor rounding out the rear of the grid. 2-man team there for the Grumpy Motorsport entry tonight. Let's roll away and get into this. Looking forward to a start. Hoping they can keep it on the track. Like I said, it's been a few months off for these drivers, so making sure that they're fresh and ready for tonight was left in their hands, and I'm not sure too many of them turned too many laps prior to tonight. So good luck. We're going to find out very, very soon if anyone can get through this first kink into turn 2 without ending up in the weeds. It's always you just never know. As we get underway, we get racing now. The run down towards, like I said, the first of our braking zones, the kink. It's always hold your breath situations as they fly through there, and so far so good. I think everyone's got through nice and cleanly, 2 by 2. It's the Noah's Ark effect as they go through, and Hayden Carroll hangs on to the lead, already gets half a second over Martin Lofthouse. Knockolds, Dexter, Don and Medson then rounding out your top 6. Close behind, a bit of a 2-wide action there with Colin Smith. Kurt Bond is also just fighting back, lost a position off the start, and Colin Smith picked up a couple, so he's lost nothing at all in the sim, that's for sure, as he get through over the top of the bridge and then down towards the back end of the circuit. You'll now see them just try and wiggle their way and just get the tyres up to temperature. 8-lapper, like Rand said, a very short first race tonight with an 18-minute cap on the time. We shouldn't go to the cap. I think Don may have put it in the wall, or he's off on the grass. So Don's off on the grass as we complete lap 1 of 8 here for the race, for first race of the night, I should say. And it is Carroll at the moment. The 1:06 from a rolling start leads by 0.7 of a second over Lofthouse and Knockolds. Dexter and Medson, who's been looking pretty handy tonight, up a place. Colin Smith, like I said, made up a couple in the opening lap. Well, he's up 3 now to be P6. So Colin Smith, MR Automotive Racing, looking very, very good in the background. Ram McClurkin's made up 4 positions as well. He's up into the top 9, ahead of Lockie Barlow in the Porsche. Mark Pryor's made up his position, and Adrian Pryor has also made up a couple. So the midfield jostling nicely through this first portion of the race. Love that livery there on the Medson BMW, looking very, very good. Who's up the road for Lockie Barlow? Ram McClurkin. Let's jump on board with Barlow and let's see if he can attack the back of that Corvette. Gets hard on the brakes here. You just got to skim the car across that concrete ripple strip. Up over the dog leg you go and try and just get on the brakes nice and smooth. I've seen some massive accidents down there in the real world back in the day, and skim it right out to the fence, get as close as you can without hitting it, and then full power down this pit straight. Used to love the sound of the cars as they came down here, echoing off the fence, and then down through the kink. Your latest of the late breakers, who can be brave enough on the brakes, was always the one that came out on top as McClurkin runs wide through there, and the position is made up there. Lockie Barlow should get that done as you see McClurkin just falling back in line, back into P10. Back to the front we go. Let's have a look at Hayden Carroll, leading now 1.2 seconds over Lofthouse in the Ferrari. So a good mixture of cars at the front, we've got a Corvette leading a Ferrari, BMW, then an Aston Martin of Dexter rounding out the top 4, and then another BMW in 5th place, the M8 of Rob Medson. So 4 different manufacturers in the top 4 tonight. So far so good for Hayden Carroll. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch him. He's sort of broken that toe, 1.2 seconds. Just comes down slightly, but does a new fastest lap. Oh, that gets taken away straight away by Lofthouse. So hold the phone. Just as I say that, Lofthouse has gone. Let's have a quick look at the lap time here and see the comparison. What was it? Nearly 3 tenths quicker. Lofthouse on that lap 3. So lap 4 now. If you can keep that up, you should be able to get onto the back of him. But straight away, Carroll is strong into the braking zone for turn 2, and then under the bridge he seems to be able to pull out that gap again, so it's back out to 1.3 seconds. Down the rear of the field we see Mark Pryor. Jump on board with him. A lot of understeer there. You can see the car off the bridge. You sort of got to turn in blindly. Once again, skim it across, ran a little bit out of shape heading down the hill. It really dips away from you there and can unsettle the car. It's not the smoothest racetrack, but that's exactly how it was in the real world. They've modelled that, they've laser scanned it, and they've made it exactly how it was. Oh, there's some tyres locking up there. I think McClurkin hard on the brakes. This will give a good run to Mark Pryor. I wonder if he'll have a go down at the end of the straightaway here. He's getting a good slipstream right down the pit wall. Now he's showing the nose to Ram McClurkin. Oh, and then he backs out of it. Probably wise to do so. He's a little bit squirrely through there as well. The car gets light under brakes. It's basically the opposite to what Wakefield Park is. You're braking through the kink and then trying to straighten the car and get it all slowed down. McClurkin locks up the unloaded right hand inside tyre there as he gets into the braking zone as well and trails a bit of smoke like an old World War I fighter plane that's been shot, trailing smoke across the sky. Well, that was Ram McClurkin locking a brake. So lap 5 of 8, 5 minutes in. It's going to be a short race. It's one about 8 or 9 minutes with this sort of lap times. The guy out in front, Carroll, there's a look over the rear wing. It's see you later alligator to everyone behind him from up on the viewing gantry. One of my favourite shots here. I remember standing there and loving every minute of every super sprint round I'd come to and watching sports sedans here back in the day as well. It was always a wonderful thing to do. And I mean, you could stand up here and view the whole racetrack as we see here in the simulation world. If you zoomed in with your binoculars, you could watch them. You'd lose sight just as they went under the bridge, but then you'd see them rise like this up over the bridge again. And that blind right-hander, you turn in, hope for the best, keep it on the racetrack. Otherwise, you're going to go out there and meet the tyres in the tree and down the hill once again. I think you just lose sight once again for the dog leg, but then they appear as they come up the hill. We watch Hayden Carroll do just that. So up over the dog leg, and then they'll disappear for a moment, and then you'd always wait for them to reappear up onto the pit straight just like that. And such a beautiful racetrack, such a pity that it's gone. But who knows, maybe one day my dream is someone will just remake this track exactly how it was in a place where they'll never have to pack it away. Lap 7, 2 to go here. In control, Hayden Carroll. He'll be hard to stop tonight. I'm not sure of the format if we've got reverse grid races tonight, but it would be pretty handy if we do make Carroll work for it. Martin Lofthouse hasn't had an answer, particularly in these last couple of laps. It's just dropped back another couple of tenths, and Knockolds is trying to hang on to the back of Lofthouse. He's also dropped back about a second. And then you've got Dexter, who's had a really good run tonight, holding position. Medson's up 1. Alex Newton, who new to the series in the Ferrari, didn't qualify so well, but up into P6. So he's done the talking out on the track tonight for this first race. I believe it is a progressive grid, so if he can move forward to 6th place in the first one and then continue to push forward race 2 and 3, he's in for a podium tonight as the white flag now drops. 1 to go here at Oran Park for race number 1 tonight of the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries. Back, I'm not sure if is it series number 14 maybe? It's right up there, I know that. It's 15, I think I got it right now. Yep, series 15. So kicked off back in 2020 for the first eSeries, and like I said in the intro, replicating the real world series, which is, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, motorsport series in Australia when you want to see raw power and, you know, just that mechanical power, that mechanical grip. Well, I shouldn't say just mechanical grip because they've got big wings on some of these things as well, but just to go and sit beside the track and hear them rumble is something you need to see to believe. As Carroll comes around the final corner, and he will take the checker flag. Race 1, does it in style, does it with ease. A win to Hayden Carroll, Machine Cold Esports, and will lead over the line from Lofthouse and Knockholes. Good drive by both of them. Lofthouse did steal a position there off Jordan in the race to make it up to P2, Jordan P3. Matt Dexter comes home 4th ahead of Medson, who takes a 5th. Alex Newton on debut takes P6, tying up 5 positions in the first race. Great result for him. 7th will go to Colin Smith, who made up a couple. Lockie Barlow started 8th, finished 8th ahead of Falzon. McClurkin up 3 from where he started. And then you've got the rest who you flick through right down to, we'll get the results up on the screen. That's probably the easiest way, as iRacing just decided to steal them all away from me. Here's your results now confirmed from iRacing, and it was Hayden Carroll, 1.8 seconds in the end. And as I said, down the back of the field, Kurt Bond, Mark Pryor, Adrian Pryor, and Tony Don rounding out the 14. We are gridding straight away for race number 2, so it's a quick turnaround tonight. I dig this. And it is a progressive grid. Yes, it is. So there you go. Hayden Carroll will start from P1 in race number 2 ahead of Lofthouse. Can Lofthouse do anything from the start to try and get ahead of Hayden Carroll? Knockholes will start from 3rd, and Matt Dexter 4th on the grid. Rob Medson out of P5 will start alongside Alex Newton, and then it's Colin Smith and Lockie Barlow, the 8th place on the grid. Falzon and McClurkin, your top 10. And then on the 6th row, Kurt Bond, Mark Pryor rounding out the 12. Behind them on 13th place, and at the back of the grid tonight for race number 2, Adrian Pryor and Tony Dunn. Good luck to the competitors for race 2. Still watching, Pete? How you going out there, mate? Over in SA? Do miss... I always say one of my highlights of sim racing commentating and broadcasting was when we did the F5000 series, and used to love hearing Pete jump on the mic and express his love for the history of motorsport. So here we go, race number 2, getting set to go. The pace car gets out of the way. Carroll nails a great start by, I think, Lofthouse to his left on the racetrack. Or is it Knockholes? Sorry, it's Knockholes who'll sneak down the inside. Lofthouse did get a good jump, and he actually got ahead of Hayden Carroll, who got swamped off the start. Carroll right out sideways as he jumped on the loud pedal there. He's trying to fight back here with Medson, who's also trying to pinch his pocket on this opening lap. So good start from Lofthouse, Knockholes and Carroll dropping 2. Medson up 1, Newton up 1, Falzon made up 3 off the start. Hayden Carroll's gone around, I think. He has, so it's all gone from the top step to P last by the looks of things, unfortunately for Carroll in race number 2. Got swamped off the start, and he's had a moment just coming around towards the bridge. Let's have a look at the Race Stars TV replay. Did he just get on the power and loop it? We'll have a look. Is it one of those iRacing spins? You get over the bump there, and yeah, the back end's just going to go around, and I think he got a tiny little nudge as well, but nothing in it. And he'll unfortunately go right to the back of the field. So out in front, leading the first lap, Martin Lofthouse got the perfect jump tonight, race 2, so he's got to be happy with that. And just got to keep it tidy now, keep pushing forward. I think Jordan Knockholes will try and get onto the back of him. A couple of BMWs there chasing down the Ferrari. And then you've got Alex Newton, who I said drove so well to go from the back of the grid, P11 to P6. In race 1, he's now up into P4 as he progresses towards the feature race, and that's incredible. McClurkin's up into 8th as well, under pressure here from Mark Pryor. I think these guys battled the whole first race, and they're at it again. So what's McClurkin got here under pressure? He admitted to me that he hasn't spent much time on the sim of late, but he's out there having a crack, and we've got to give him a big round of applause and a big thanks too for orchestrating this series. He has for so many years now. And not only does he do the eSeries, but does the social media for the sports sedans, does everything he can to promote what is such a wonderful series. And, you know, we want to give him thanks, and hopefully everyone else appreciates the big effort that he does put in to promote and support the sports sedans. And you know, extend the knowledge for people out there that don't know it, as Falzon made a meal of that braking zone, almost got into the back of Barlow and had to take evasive action. And unfortunately, that has cost him big time and picks up another place here for McClurkin and Pryor. We'll keep an eye on this battle because they continue to rage, these two. By the way, Hayden Carroll setting a new fastest lap of the race down there in 13th place, so he's not going to win this one. But what he can do is try and set a fastest lap or two. So 10 lap, 10 laps second race here tonight. We had an 8 lap at the start, 10 laps to fill out our consolidation, then we'll go to a feature race at the end of the night. And it's a really good racing going on here. And I bet they're enjoying this. I reckon Rand would have a smile as he holds out Mark Pryor here. And he did say prior to the broadcast he'd met Mark up in Queensland Raceway. As you heard, the first thing I said was, is he grumpy? Grumpy Motorsport? No, not grumpy at all, very chilled. Great bloke. So there he goes. We've got a bit more movement up the front. That's Medicine off into the dirt. And I wonder if Dexter was involved in that too. Where is Dexter? He's right down the back. So Matt Dexter's gone off at some point as well. We missed that as Medicine is dropping back. Don gets in front of him as well. And has he got some damage on that car? Or has he just made a secondary mistake there? He's just dropped back. He is fighting. Oh, gets up on the curve. That could be dangerous. And he makes a little bit of contact with Don, who recovered nicely and didn't turn the car around. That Aston Martin, the all-in-one Motorsport Aston Martin, looking beautiful as always. So looking good. Lap 5, halfway point. Lofthouse or at the end of this lap. Oh, he just went wide there. Medicine misjudged the braking zone. Again, it is one that can really catch you out. Turn 1 being the kink, turn 2 being the big stop. And I always talk about the race I had in my Austin Healey Sprite when I looked in the mirror at turn 2 and just saw this cloud of smoke, and I could just see the little orange helmet of a fellow competitor in another Austin Healey Sprite who was doing spin after spin through the dirt. And I just remember the cloud of dust and this little orange helmet poking through. He came out all right. He was back for the next race. That was the beauty of super sprints back in the day. You would do probably 6 or 7 races in a day. And around this place, you couldn't help yourself. And I have said on broadcast before, the night or the last time I ever raced here, it was about to storm. It was, black skies, and everyone said, look, don't go out. It's ridiculous. It's about to absolutely pour down. And we're sitting in the dummy grid. It was pouring down. And I was sitting there thinking, well, I've still got to go out. And I had 2 spins in the run, but it was the most fun I've ever had. And who could resist one last chance to lap a real race car around Oran Park? Not me. So I spun right there, coming over the crest of the hill. And it was always a lot of fun. Lockie Barlow continues to fight on. This is a good little battle, actually. Alex Newton up into P3 now and doing a good job. So he's managed to just fight his way past Barlow, and he's on for a podium. Could he go one step further? Could he get up into P2 and then possibly fight for a win in the final race tonight? And that's what he'd be aiming for. To do that on debut would be incredible. And for those wondering if I'm telling fibs about racing my little car around here in the rain, here's a little sneak just to show you some onboard footage of how slippery it was that day. So that was prior to the big downfall, and it was a couple of scary moments in a little tiny 700 kilo car, but always a heck of a lot of fun. So I always cherish those videos to look back on every time we race here at Oran Parkers. Oh, the move's on. Lockie Barlow. He has the elbows out as he goes down through the kink into turn 2 and says, thank you very much. This Porky's coming through. And now we've got Ferrari leading BMW, Porsche P3, and then another Ferrari in 4th place. So Barlow's also come through the field here, up 5 spots, and he's on the back of Knockholes. So not much of a gap, 1.4 seconds up the road to the BMW. Could we see Lockie Barlow challenge for P2 here? Now Jordan will be watching the times as we look at a lap comparison over the last few laps, and I think there was a mistake on that last lap because I could just see Jordan lost 6.5 seconds to Barlow on that lap. And is he limping that car home? He's got to do 2 more laps. And the gap to the leader, Lofthouse, 10 seconds. So yeah, Barlow, his eyes would have lit up when he saw the relative decrease as Knockholes made that mistake. What does he do in the fight back? He pulls out 7/10. So just when I thought we were going to get an exciting finish, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Barlow's probably going to have to ask a little bit too much of the car to try and catch up to P2. But great drive here by Martin Lofthouse. He's been on song for this second race, and he will bring it home and he will start. That means, unless we've got a reverse grid for the feature, that means he will start from P1. Eddie Metz in the house. Hello, Eddie. Hope you're doing well, man. Miss you guys. Miss seeing the names up there. We're here tonight. So Lofthouse through the final couple of corners and to take the checker flag in race number 2. Oh, sorry, we've got 1 lap to go, don't we? White flag. See how out of practice I am? White flag will fly for Martin Lofthouse in this consolidation round 2, or race 2 of round 2. And his lead is just ducked under 10 seconds again, but he could almost blow a tyre and still bring it home from there. 9.9 the gap. The gap back to Barlow from Knockholes remains around that 1.6 seconds as well. Then Newton, who got overtaken by a very aggressive move from Barlow, is now fighting with Kurt Bond, who's had a mega race. Kurt finds himself now up into 5th place and almost got centre punched there by Mark Pryor, who has moved himself up in a couple of positions as well. Pryor's up 6, Tony Don's up 7, Adrian Pryor's up 5, and Rand McClurkin up 1 at the back of this pack. So great little drive and a good scrap going on towards the end of the lap. But we've got to pay our attention to this guy, who will this time take the check and flag and win race number 2. Congratulations to Martin Lofthouse. He takes the win comfortably, flashes the headlights and brings it home. Great drive. Jordan Knockholes will take second, and he had to just fight back for the last 3 or 4 laps there after making that mistake and that spin. He's also pretty happy, takes a well-deserved second ahead of Lockie Barlow. Alex Newton will finish P4, but how strong did Kurt Bond come home at the end of that one for 5th? Pryor and Don 6th and 7th, and Pryor, Adrian Pryor, that is P8, ahead of Rand McClurkin 9th, and Hayden Carroll spun at the start of the race after not getting off the line well and getting swamped. Comes home at P10, so good racing, and we've still got 1 to go, which is mega. I've got to say that my drive in that race was Kurt Bond, up 6 spots to 5th and putting the pressure on the back of the drivers in front of him, Medson and others. He was looking hot. Hopefully Rand comes in for a chat. He usually does in this quick 5-minute warm-up before the feature race tonight. Here are the results from race number 2 up on your screen. Thanks to iRacing and SDK, of course, Timing, who supply our timing overlay broadcasts software. Martin Lofthouse confirmed the winner there, 10.3 seconds in the end over Jordan Knockholes and Lockie Barlow, your top 3. Alex Newton fought well and had Kurt Bond right on his tail at the end for a 15-second P5 off the lead. And then it was Mark Pryor drove well too, ahead of Tony Don, Adrian Pryor and Rand McClurkin, all making positive gains in that second race. Hayden Carroll fought back to 10th after looping and going right to the rear of field ahead of Matt Dexter, Medson Falzon and Colin Smith. So quick minute here or so before we get into the final race. Mark Pryor straight out for some practice, nothing holding him back, but ran 2 races in, good little fight there. And I tell you what, Mark Pryor impressed me, and Kurt Bond as well. Kurt Bond got my drive in race 2 there.
Oh, really? I didn't see them. I was too busy trying to stay on the track. It's pretty hectic out, these little short races. It's pretty cool, actually.
Mate, it's pretty exciting. And yeah, you didn't see Kurt racing, but he really fought towards the end there. And up the front as well. You've got a feel for Hayden, who got a pretty ordinary start. He got swamped off the line and then got turned around on the opening lap, sent him to the back. But he'll fight back in the final race. Do we have an invert? That's the big question.
We do not have an invert, no.
Okay.
No, sorry. I can't do it now either. They'd yell at me. I'd be up the front. I'd be sick. Nah, no invert. We're just doing short, quick. The invert works well if you're doing sort of like a double length final race. It gives it time for the guys to come through. But what do we got? 12 laps. So an 8, 10, and a 12. So,
yeah.
Like, to be honest, 8 felt the best because, yeah, that was pretty cool. The 12's going to be hard work, actually.
Yeah, it is short though. Like, I mean, 1 minute laps around here. It's a lot of, arm work for a short lap.
Yeah, and I've got my thing, like I've got a secondary clutch on my steering wheel that I don't use and I can't get rid of it, and it's coming on. So it came on for 3/4 of that race. It was just a little bit on and it was unsettling the car and I couldn't get rid of it. So I don't know how to get it out of my options. But
does that mean you're not getting full power as well, basically? The clutch is slipping?
No, I can't figure out. How do you unassign a button?
That's a good question. Someone might be able to help in the chat there.
I can't remember how you do it.
Could you assign it to something else?
Wait a minute.
Click on the clutch, the secondary clutch, click on it and assign it to a button or a keyboard.
No, that's what I've done, but it won't. No, it won't do it.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. But anyway, did you want me to drag anyone in for you to chat to them?
Mate, you can if you want. I gotta say I was impressed with Alex Newton on debut as well. He's 40s.
I'll drag him and see what happens. It could be interesting.
Yeah, let's do it. Yep, Alex, you're live on the broadcast, mate. You got time for a quick chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mate, looking good out there. We watched your progress through race 1. Obviously, didn't qualify so well, but fought your way up to the midpoint and then really good up in P3 for a while in race 2. How's it feeling, and welcome to the series?
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm still getting my head around it all. Just got the old Logitech gear bolted to a computer desk, so I'm kind of struggling a little bit. Instead of using John's gear from Racecraft, where I usually go do the racing at the centre. But yeah, just at home today with the Logitech gear, so hanging in there, having a ball. So yeah, it's good to be part of this series.
What's your connection with sports sedans, mate?
I just follow them. I'm just a fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's good. I get to drive amongst some actual sports sedan races, and hopefully a couple of other drivers are just fans like myself, and just out here having a go and enjoying it.
Well, good luck.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
pretty awesome. You're waiting for me, Luke.
I was waiting for you. I thought you were going to.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I thought we were going to chime in there.
I was trying to work out my buttons. I got technical difficulties. No, it's good to have Alex here. It's good to have some new faces. And I think there's a couple of other guys that were trying to hop on at the last minute. So, yeah, we welcome any fans of sports sedans. And looks like Alex is doing. Where did Alex finish in that one, Luke?
P4, I think it was. Hey, quickly ran, by the way. Tyson Hammer on the chat says, press enter to unassign a bind. So if you click on the clutch and then hit enter, it should unassign it.
Good man. All right, I'll go do that. So, you can chat to Alex.
Big thanks to Tyson. Good luck, Rhiannon. Alex, mate, good to have you in the series, mate. Great drive. I hope in this final race you can find your way towards the front, mate, because you're looking very competitive.
Yeah, cheers, Luke. Hopefully haven't put the mocker on us, mate, and we'll keep hanging on.
Hope not, man. We'll chat to you at the end. We'll get everyone in for a chat at the end, so good luck.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Oh, we're going live, aren't we? We're going back.
We are. We're almost ready for race number 3. So
let him know that didn't work, but
didn't
that's
work.
Right.
Tyson, it didn't work.
I've assigned it to a keyboard thing, so hopefully it should be fine.
Okay, just no typing while you're driving.
No, I don't know. See ya.
See ya. All right, so it's all real world racing here. We've got technical difficulties. It's like having a misfiring engine that your clutch bind is sort of coming on slightly while you're trying to race for Ram Clerk, and not the best thing. But anyway, let's have a look at the grid for our final 12-lap race of the evening for the Australian eSports, or Australian Sports Sedans eSeries, I should say, round number 2 from Oran Park, and Martin Lofthouse, after a ripper race 2, starts on pole with Jordan Knockholes alongside him. Lockie Barlow will be looking to challenge at the start. He really came home strong in race number 2, so watch for him challenging for the lead if he gets a good run here off the green. Alex Newton will start alongside him. We had a good interview there with Alex. P4, brand new to the series, on debut, doing well. Kurt Bond also came home strong with Mark Pryor alongside him in race 2. those guys will be good to watch at the start of this race too. I just hope they can all get through the first couple of corners unscathed. Tony Don, P7. Adrian Pryor, 8th on the grid. Ram McClurkin out of 9 with Carroll. Will be quick from 10th. Watch him making up positions. Dexter and Medson at the back with the wonderful Thousand and Smith rounding out your top 14 competitors tonight. Let's turn up the noise. Let's get rid of the music. Let's get set to go racing for the final race tonight. 12 laps on the board. Watch Lofthouse off the start. Will he get a perfect run down towards the kink? He'll hold them back, and we'll wait for the green. Wait for that big old ugly pace truck to get out of the way. There it is. And there we go. We're racing. Carroll at the back. I just saw him dart out of the way. He's already made up 3 or 4 positions, as Knockholes has made up a couple. There was Lofthouse who went backwards there down through the kink. 4 wide in the background. McClurkin in the middle of all that gets through. So far so good. He's got Kurt Bond on his inside. They come out of there well. Knockholes got the jump, didn't he? Alex Newton, he said, I hope you haven't put the mockers on me. Well, he's gone from 4th on the grid to 2nd at the start of this lap and doing very, very well indeed. Now he's being challenged by Lofthouse, who's trying to recover. Ferrari on Ferrari up over the top, and look out, hold on to your hats. Who's going to hold on to this down the hill? It is Newton. So they've got to be careful here that they don't let Knockholes get away. I think Mark Pryor's off on the grass. He's just on the brakes, making sure he doesn't come back onto the field of play. But beautiful getaway from Knockholes. Lockie Barlow dropped a position as well in the Porsche. But remember, it may take an extra couple of laps for this Porsche to come on song, because he came home so strong in race number 2. I reckon come the end of this race, he'll be right there. A 106.9 from a rolling start is pretty stock standard tonight. That's what they've been doing, and Knockholes pulls the gap out to 2.3 seconds already ahead of Lofthouse, who has got past Newton up into 3rd. Barlow still remains in 4th. And hello, Ram McClurkin up in 5th position, folks. So he's, we got a crash at the back, have we? There's a couple of cars in the wall down at 2. And it's Pryor. I think Dexter was one of them. He's going in reverse. And Falzon is way, way down the back. So there goes, that was Newton, Barlow and McClurkin. He's got Hayden right behind him, as now Adrian Pryor has crashed as well. But Hayden should be able to clean up. Ran here pretty quickly. Gets up alongside him, goes around the outside. Nice overtake there by Carroll. McClurkin also gets his pocket picked there by McClurkin got his pocket picked by Kurt Bond. I was just trying to see who it was who stuck through when Carroll went around the outside. So nice job. And now Colin Smith gets out of the tow and tries to have a shot at Tony Don, and also being defensive here from Medson, who's just behind. So some good racing going on. I'm not sure, Tyson. I think it's too late to help him now. He's out there racing and he's doing all right. Maybe he's assigned. Oh, I see what you're saying there. It's the joke. I missed the joke at the first time I read that, but Tyson said, did Ran reassign the push to pass instead of the second clutch? It is almost like he's got a push to pass out there right now, because he's flying, McClurkin. Made a ripper of a start. He's just been gobbled up by a few drivers since, but you've got to watch this man, Hayden Carroll, his progress. I think Lockie's going to be a sitting duck here at the end of the pit straight. Will stay on board. This beautiful Corvette up 5 positions into 5th now, right up to the fence. Barlow with an interesting line off the final corner. Obviously not taking the full width of the racetrack and not taking as much speed. And the lap time reflects that, 104 compared to Carroll with a 102. So he's now just got to negotiate Barlow and Newton. He might even get a 2-for-1 deal down here at 3. He's hard on the brakes and Barlow goes defensive. So we'll stay on board here with Carroll. He's right up underneath the rear wing of the Porsche. Once again, Barlow putting that car in the middle of the racetrack. It's one of those circuits where if there is a car in the middle parked right there, you just cannot overtake. You can't go left, you can't go right. If you put a foot wrong, you're going to be out on the grass and getting a one-way ticket to the fence. So you've got to be patient. Carroll's just got to bide his time here. Wait for Barlow in front to make a mistake. When he's wrong-footed, then he'll pounce. So right here, this is where Barlow was slow. Look at that, he's turning in a little bit early there, which affects the way he comes out of the corner. A bit better that time, but still a car with up against the fence he could have used. And let's see if Hayden this time sends it down into turn 1. Hard on the brakes. Look at those disc glow red is still not close enough in front of him. Newton just holding on. In fact, I think Carroll got out of there better than... Oh, no, Barlow defensive again. Barlow's got the widest Porsche here in the history of Porsches. The switch back on here for Carroll. He tried it, but Barlow moved across. So this is a good fight. These two, I'm saying grin from ear to ear. I'm not sure if Carroll's enjoying this as much as Barlow is being defensive, but some mega racing going on, and this is good to watch, isn't it, as we go through lap 5 of lap 12 for our third and final race here tonight. Welcome to those watching YouTube, Twitch and Facebook on Racestars TV. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We love having you rock up. We've got plenty of series coming up over the next little while, including broadcasting Formula 4 next week, the Asian Pacific Esports Championship, the Junior Asian Pacific Championship later this month as well, and some more Formula 4 coming your way very soon. So plenty of real world series diving onto Racestars TV for production, which is a fantastic thing. In fact, Racestars TV now 100% production except for this series. So I guess I can't call it 100%, can I? I do commentate for the sports and everything else is production, purely production only. So Barlow here all over the back of Newton. I think he's got him. Will Carroll try and go through with him? I think he will. Carroll gets through. So that was some good driving, heads up driving there from Hayden Carroll. And now he can attach to the back of Barlow. He saw that Barlow was about to pounce on Newton, and he knew he could get Newton like a wounded bull. He took him at the same time, and that was a beautiful little overtake as Knockholes flirts with the pit entry. You see that red line come up as they go off track, but you also see them grey out when they hit the pit entry. And obviously the quickest exit here at Oran Park is to get yourself right over against that pit entry. So we haven't seen much of this man, Jordan Knockholes, out in front leading by 1.4 seconds. Keeping him honest is Martin Lofthouse in the Ferrari. The gap back to Barlow then is nearly 8 seconds, so in fact it is 8 seconds. I just have a quick look with my blurry eyes after a long day. Yep, 8 seconds, 8.7 in fact, as Carroll now gets through on the Porsche Barlow. So we've got BMW leads Ferrari ahead of Corvette, then a couple of Porsches with Kurt Bond trying to see what he can do now. In fact, Bond's ahead of Newton. So Bond's back to where he started, P5. Alex Newton is the one that has dropped a couple of positions after 2 races of moving forward. Unfortunately, he's now dropped back a couple. Then Tony Don, Rand McClurkin in the background still continues to run P8, up 1 position. And then Pryor and Colin Smith. Pryor now all over the back of McClurkin and trying to make a move. So these guys go past us. Quite a spread field. We've got 42 seconds back to Medson from the leader, P11, 45 back to Falzon. So unfortunately, Adrian Pryor is down a couple of laps and Matt Dexter is out of the race. Loving the little Race Stars, our old logo on the back of the BMW there. Jordan Knockholes looking fantastic. And he's got this in control, I think. Just watching his lap times, he's consistent. The car doesn't look wild or out of control over the dog leg there. He looks like he's got it planted and right out to the fence as well with Precision. And big thanks to Precision too for all your engine needs. Big thanks to them supporting the series and obviously the real world series as well. Without them it wouldn't be possible, so big thanks to them as Carroll does the fastest lap of the race now on lap 8. We start lap 9. He's got 3 laps to go and I don't think he's going to be able to get near the top 2, but he's definitely concreting P3 at the moment with 3 laps to go here tonight. So Carroll looking on fire. He's walked away from Barlow. And then behind them, I think Falzon's just crashed again, unfortunately, at the back of the field. Kurt Bond still ahead of Alex Newton. So Alex's car, I think he gave it all at the start, and he's maybe put a bit too much into the tyres, and it will hurt him towards the end of this event. Tony Don as well, P7. McClurkin still holds on to 8th. I think Rand will be stoked with that. He's had a positive gain all 3 races, and I don't think you can ask for much more when you're racing in a series like this. You know, you chip away, you try and come out of one race a couple of places or a place ahead of where you started, and that's what he's done. Fantastic job. Are things heating up at the front? Just watching that gap, it's been hovering around the 1.5 seconds. It's just ducked under a second now, 9/10 of a second between Knockholes and Lofthouse. We've got 3 to go, including this one. Could we get a last minute dash here at the end? Up over the bridge they go. Check this out. Love that shot as they sweep around the corner and then down the hill. Lofthouse in pursuit. We've had Tony Don, I think, crash at the back too. Will he regain and hold that position? He's still off the track. He's got quite a buffer back to Smith, so he should be okay, although no, Smith's just gone past as Tony gets it back onto the black stuff and continues on his way. But let's keep an eye on this. 0.8 of a second. This is the last late minute charge by Martin Lofthouse, JWME Motorsports driver. He's got the profile picture there. Arms crossed, meaning business tonight. But down the straight line there, the BMW is incredible. We just saw him pull away a couple of tenths. Carroll, another fastest lap of the race. He has got the bit between his teeth now. But this gap is just like a yo-yo, isn't it? Down to 0.8 again. But then it will stretch out as he accelerates out of the corner, back up to a second. And what can he do? He's going to get the white flag. 1 to go at the end of this lap. He's running out of time. See, it's back out to a second. And he's just slow through that part of the track. And I think he's got to capitalise where the Ferrari's good, because the BMW has got way too much straight line speed. If he hasn't got him by now, it's all over Red Rover. He can tuck up here, be defensive through the dog leg, be defensive into the final corner, and he'll take the race win. So he's got 1 lap to put all that in place, think about what he's doing, and this should be a no-brainer here for Jordan Knockholes to hang on and take a win. The white flag flies as we look back a little bit further up 7 positions. Hayden Carroll from Machine Cult Esports. Not much he can do now, only 1 to go and 8 seconds. The gap as Lockie Barlow's Porsche screams past us. Flash of exhaust flame at the back of Kurt Bond's car as well. And Kurt chasing down Lockie for P5 at the moment. Oran still running P7. Nothing Mark Pryor can do about it. These guys have had a good scrap all night going against each other, and they're going to scrap all the way to the line. But we've got to keep an eye on our race leader here and congratulate him, Jordan Knockholes, for HPF Esports. He's going to win this one, and I don't think he's going to be challenged. So it's been a pleasure having you all tonight. Thanks for tuning in for round number 2, the Australian National Sports Sedan eSeries. And let's crown a winner in the feature. Jordan Knockholes will take the checker flag here from Oran Park and win it in style ahead of Martin Lofthouse. Hayden Carroll comes home in P3, and that's it's a great drive from back of the pack, and congratulations to him for a fight back worth watching. Barlow gets 4th ahead of Bond. Alex Newton, did I put the mockers on him? I'm not sure, but he came home P6 ahead of McClurkin, who gets 7th ahead of Mark Pryor. 8th place, Smith and Don round out the top 10. Medson, Falzon, Pryor and Matt Dexter unfortunately didn't finish that last one, but what a great race, and I tell you what, you should be happy with that. We'll get a chat to him in a sec. We'll chat to all the drivers, in fact. Anyone that wants to come in for a chat, we'll get them all in, and we'll do some shout-outs. If you've got something you want to say, let us know in the chat. We'll let the drivers know. And I'm sure they're loving that. Eddie and Peter watching, Tyson and others, thanks for coming along tonight. Let's get those results up on the screen. Thanks to iRacing and SDK Timing. Big thanks to them for supplying our overlay. And your results up on the screen now. So it was a win to Jordan Knockholes by 1 second flat. In the end, Martin Lofthouse, P2, Hayden Carroll rounding out your top 3. Wonderful job for them. Barlow, Bond, Newton, McClurkin in 7th with Mark Pryor, Colin Smith and Tony Don rounding out your top 10. Smallish field tonight, 14 cars, but who needs more? You don't need more than that. We're going to see some celebratory burnouts here, I think. If you can find he's got to find that traction control off button, which he's done now, so nice job. Smoke 'em up, boy. So as we complete the night with some beautiful donuts there from the BMW, we'll invite some drivers in for a chat and wrap things up here from Oran Park. The next round of this series, by the way, will be next month on the 13th, Wednesday the 13th of September, and followed by the 11th, Wednesday the 11th of October. So back to Wednesdays, which is traditionally the day we've always done sports sedans. After this month, obviously, some clashing with other series meant we couldn't do last night. But fantastic to be back, and the national sports sedans always live up to it. There's always the hype, there's always that love that I have deep down to broadcast these guys, and I think that stems from being that 18-year-old kid on the hill at Oran Park watching them race. So tonight, extra special. I've had a bit more time here. We're still waiting for the drivers to join me here so we can have a quick chat. Jordan, I think, still smoking it out there. In fact, he's just joined me as I say that. Jordan, great win in the final race, mate. You had Martin coming back at you at the end, but you're too strong.
That was, he was coming hard. I think he might have made a mistake or something there, and gave me a little bit of a gap and just controlled it from there, which was nice. But definitely a lot of pressure.
Yeah, solid drive, mate. Looking fantastic. And Martin, good drive for you as well. You lost that position right at the start. Talk us through that first lap or so.
Oh yeah, cheers. Just missed the jump really. Just caught me off guard a little bit, so got swamped a little bit. But just sort of kept it on track, and then I was sort of trying to hunt Jordan down, and then just had a big snap of oversteer coming through after the bridge there, and then I just couldn't find that slipstream again to hunt him down. So
all in all, good racing tonight, mate. You look good out there. And Hayden, got a feel for you, mate. That opening little incident, in the last race, put you right to the back, but you fought back through to P3. You just needed another 6 or 7 laps, mate. You would have been there.
Yeah, it was the second race. Just obviously got a bit loose on the bumps into the turning and just spun around. But it was good racing through the back in that last one.
Yeah, look fast out there. And like I said, you just that 8-second gap at the end there, just too much. But your consecutive fast laps was exciting me, thinking, can he get there? But unfortunately, just not enough race time. So good racing and all. And Ran, I've got to say, mate, you're in here as well. I saw you up at P5 at one point. I said, is that Ran McClurkin that doesn't practice in P5?
Mate, what happened? I just got a blinder of a start. It was like everyone was sitting back. You know what? That clutch must have been affecting me for a while now, and I didn't realise it because I fixed that, put it onto the keyboard, and that didn't mess up. And suddenly the car settled down. I still had a bit of understeer, but yeah, I'll take that, man. I'll take that any day.
Tyson, who was trying to help you reassign that button, said in the chat, I think Ran has reassigned his push to pass to the second clutch.
Well, I think it just shows you how much that must have been limiting my power. So I don't know how long it's been doing that, but it'd be nice if that's part of the reason why I suck. But yeah. Anyway, it was good racing out there. I feel a bit for Mark. I think these guys would say the same. It's pretty tough to pass here cleanly.
Yeah.
Especially even, like Mark and that are a little bit quicker than me on a single lap pace, but we're just talking about he couldn't get a run onto that final straight, and that's where I was able to get a little bit of a gap and hold him out for the rest of the lap without blocking. But thanks to Martin, Jordan and H for, I'm sure they were going hell bent out the front. So I let H through like team orders and he fucking hit me. we need to practice that, H.
I think Hayden too will attest to how hard it is to overtake, because you saw Lockie Barlow in the Porsche there, parking in the middle of the racetrack for about 3 laps straight, mate. It was hard to get by him.
Yeah, it was hard not to hit him.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things. I must admit, when I'm around here, you think, should I be driving defensive? But it's part of it, isn't it? And that's the nature of Oran Park, that if you're slightly slower and you can keep it on the track, you just got to watch it. Everyone was really good. No one was sort of pushing people wide. There was a little bit of redressing. I know Kurt and I had a little bit of a tangle, so I redressed. I knew he was going to get me anyway. But yeah, Lockie did pretty well. He didn't take anyone out, so I'm pretty proud of him.
Yeah, some good racing. So we'll do thank yous, because we always do that. Starting with our race winner, Jordan. Who would you like to thank, mate, for HPF Esports?
Yeah. Thanks to the crew, HPF Esports. Thanks to Robbie Madsen, who was racing tonight as well, for putting the paints together again. Looking fast is half the battle, so I think we're doing all right there. And thanks to everyone for tuning in, Rand for putting on the event, and yourself for being a ring-in for this year and putting this on for us. It's fantastic.
No, it's fantastic. It's always good with the sports sedans. Martin, who would you like to thank, man? P2 in the feature.
Yeah, obviously Precision for sponsoring the series. Oran obviously keeps putting these series together. Brewed Coffee, one of our main sponsors at JWME Motorsport, and Wade, who did the paint for me, even though he managed to forget the window banner, but we'll get that sorted for next round.
A slap on the wrist for that one.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously it's good to have you back, Luke, so yeah, thanks for putting the stream together as well.
It's awesome. No, the car does look great. We'll get that window banner on there and it'll be a 10 out of 10, mate.
Yeah, cheers.
Fantastic. And Hayden, finally, mate, up and down night from super quick race 1, a disappointing race 2, and then a mega fight back race 3. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Rand for sponsoring me with Machine Cult, and you for putting on all these great streams, Precision International for sponsoring the series, and everyone else who's watching.
Good on you, Hayden. Well done, mate. And yeah, congratulations to our top 3 in the feature, Jordan, Martin, and Hayden. Rand, it was a shortish night tonight. We're just on an hour, but some good racing. I love the short race format. I think I do so much broadcasting now where they're 45-minute or hour and a half races. I love this short, sharp sprint races. It's very cool.
Mate, it felt much better, didn't it? It felt sports sedan-y. Like as we were talking off air before we came on, everyone's lives gone back to being really busy, and it is a pretty crazy time with everything going on in the world, just everyone going flat out. So this felt very sports sedan. I think Oran Park screams sports sedan. Anyway, as to anyone that knows the category and saw the cars run around here, it shouldn't work, but it works so well. It worked so well in real life. Yep. These big angry cars trying to get around this tight track. And I must say, it is definitely one of my favorite tracks to drive around. It is a lot of fun, really a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for everyone, the guys turning out. I think that's not too bad a grid. So we'll try and rustle up a few of the other quick boys to come and have a run. Obviously it'd be great to get someone like Jordan and Benny back, but they're pretty busy with their professional series. So I think they're a bit scared. I understand. But it's good. And we're off to SMP in about 30 days, in about a month. So Sports Sedans will be there, like I said, with the New South Wales Sports Sedans, a joint round. So definitely get along, come say hello. It's been really, really good chatting to lots of people that I'd never met in person. But yeah, it's just great to meet people into the category like yourself even. Yeah,
and how much does that pop up? When you're walking through the paddock at a sports sedan event, how many people go, hey, you're the guy from the eSeries, or I've raced against you. You meet someone, you start talking, you hear the name, and it's like, hey, I've raced against you in the eSeries.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of that. The eSeries was definitely a spring to, bigger things with sports sedans and getting the word out to people that maybe hadn't heard about it or didn't, or, you know what I mean? Just connecting things. And I suppose that's bounced onto that. I've been doing a little bit of socials for nationals, so it was really nice. And look, at one, what I'm like, I get a bit upset. I can be a little bit reactive to negativity. But you know what, 99% of the people, and it was just, I had a guy come up to myself when I was having something to eat and just going, man, so good to meet you. You've inspired me to build a race car and get back into it. He'd already done racing, but I think just seeing what we do, so it all sort of connects, the eSeries, the videos and just stuff. And I just like that it's not about me either. It's about the category, and that's what I really, obviously I push my own barrow, but I'm pushing. I want to just be part of it. You know what I mean? There's people doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and I'm happy that I can add to their efforts.
For sure, mate. And we're back here. Well, we're back on Race Stars TV on the 11th of on the 13th of next month, Wednesday the 13th, then the 11th in October. So consecutive months here. We're back onto sort of a Wednesday nights, and a month from now, and then a month after that for the 4th round, and then we finish it all up in November, on the 1st of November, back on a Wednesday as well. So we've got a bit more consistency now, once a month, to round out this series, which would be great.
Yeah, look, and it's great. And obviously, it follows the real series. That's what we've tried to do. So it brings, it just makes it join up, and it's all good. So yeah, thanks again to Precision and to the Nationals. The Nationals have helped make this happen. So, and obviously all the real life sponsors that sponsor the real series, and all the guys that are out slogging away to get their cars on track, because there's a lot of effort, to get these cars in real life onto the track. So good on them all.
Yeah, fantastic. Yep. So if you haven't ever looked at the sports sedans, go and give them a Google and check it out. Check out sports sedans. There'll be heaps of pictures, videos and jump on YouTube. You'll probably go down the rabbit hole and you'll be watching those fantastic races in the late 90s at Oran Park with Tony Ricciardello and many others. For me, that's the bread and butter of what I love about sports sedans, and it's still there right now today. So get out and see them live. And Ran, big thanks to you, mate. You don't get enough thanks for everything you do for this series and the eSeries and all the little work behind the track, putting up with everyone's personalities. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, but at the end of the day, you bring them all along and we all get racing, which is fantastic. Thanks, mate.
Oh, you're very kind, and thanks to you, Luke, because you're the icing on the top of the cake, bro. Gonna call you Icing Luke.
You're gonna call me Cherry?
Yeah, no, let's not go down that road because I'll take it too far.
You will, yeah.
And I'll get a text.
Yeah, it's still PG rated here at this time of night.
Is it? That's after 8:30. That's usually when the adult movies come on, isn't it?
I think we've got Western Australian viewers, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
all right, cheers, man.
Thanks, Ran. We'll see you again soon. Good on you.
Cheers, Blake.
Cheers, mate. So that's Ran McClurkin who puts this together. What a legend. And a big thanks to everyone that tuned in tonight. Jordan Knockholes, too strong in the feature and takes out the race win. But you can't discount Martin Lofthouse, who raced well tonight, and Hayden Carroll, Lockie Barlow, Kurt Bond up there in 5th as well, Alex Newton on debut. Great drive by all those drivers. And a big thanks to everyone that tuned in. Tyson on the chat there, trying to help Ran earlier. Eddie and Peter, good to see you guys as well. Peter, get home safe from SA. And Jack over on YouTube with Stephen Tonkin as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm Luke. This is Race Stars TV. I'll see you soon. Good night.